Go away.
Now you also are sick. Despite what you all know about me, I wasn't always this confident, sexy, suave man that I am today. And at one point I was a weak, stumbling little nerd called a baby. Believe it or not, I couldn't even lift one dumbbell, although I could still pull. And because I was unfortunately born a baby, I had to grow up, which means I had to learn and develop. Truthfully, I thought I was built different, but I guess my beta parents weren't. Of course, I was just absolutely epic the entire time. I mean, by the age of 6, I already built my first hot rod motorcycle and had to build pheromone adapters by the age of 8 to stop the copious amount of coochie thrown my way. Eventually I had to give in by the age of 14 and slammed my first ham sandwich. Now that's not a brag, that's important to the story, as I was incredibly young when I broke my testicles. Let's set the scene for you. Young Dino, South Africa, summertime. You could bathe off the sweat I was producing, as obviously my pasty white English jeans don't exactly agree with too much sunlight. And to be fair, I was a little bit sunburned. Now I was seeing this person, who was definitely a girl and not a guy, and decided to invite them around as I was home alone for the day. I'm sure you're aware that when two teenagers are alone in any vicinity, one of two things are gonna happen. Either one, they're gonna complain about life, or two, I'm lying, that's not gonna happen, they're just gonna have fucking. Knowing this, I prepared myself. I went for a shower, as I therefore mentioned the sweat, powdered my nutsack and anus, put on the best of my dad's cologne, and presumably put on my favorite graphic tee. Then a quick rush around the bedroom to tidy it up, and what do you know, young Hugh Hefner's ready for it. What's that I hear? Ding dong, time for me to fucking slam. That was bad. Being the gentleman that I am, I prepared 2 pristine glasses of Sparletta cream soda with the ice, and then put on Trace Urban on DSTV to set the mood. Finally, my master plan of getting my dick wet was about to begin. I'll spare you all the boring details. We chatted for a bit, and then things got frisky. Again, I will spare you even more details because 14, you sick bastard. But somehow we eventually ended up in doggy style. Now your boy is on it like a car bonnet, but it would not be fair to say I was like a jackhammer. A jackhammer was like the downgraded version of me. I was moving so fast, I looked like a Dragon Ball Z character teleporting.
How did he move that fast?
Just rah, rah, rah. Word of advice to any of you young men out there. I know when it's your first couple of times, it's tempting to go absolutely all out every single go. But realistically, as you get older, that hour-long session of Pound Town gets shortened to 40 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 15, and if you're lucky, a quick 2. So what I'm saying is pace yourself a little bit. I want you to think of yourself as a superstar quarterback, and the harder you go every single time will shorten your lifespan in the sport. Thankfully for me, my partner was open and honest about it and told me, please can you slow down? I physically can't feel anything. And of course I complied, as there was 0 chance I was going to jeopardize me getting a crumb of ass. But you know what the genius young version of me did? Well, you're not into me going that hard. What about some spanking? I think you can see where this is going, Sherlock. 1 thrust, light. 2 thrust, light. 3 thrust, the force of 1,000 suns in my right palm. Full on strike to kill. The wind grazing through my fingertips. And somehow, to this day, I still don't know. Instead of catching the ass, I somehow caught my balls. The clap heard around the world. I ruptured a vessel easily. You ever seen those videos that creator Moist Critical watches? The slapping competitions ones?
Round 6.
Thanks, Brad. Oh,
And another fantastic.
Well, if the power of my hand in that moment was involved in one of those competitions, I would have been the world champion by now. The pain was instant. All I could do was grab my chest and fall to the side, writhing. My partner, obviously visibly confused, had no idea what was going on and just assumed that I was dying. So they started immediately panicking. You know when you're in so much pain that you can't talk and you can barely breathe? Well, I was like that for a good solid minute. Well, this person was on top of me going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Until I could eventually muster out the words, "I smacked my balls." To which they replied, "What?" And to which I replied, "My balls, I smacked." To which they replied again, "Oh my god," and began howling with laughter. And to be honest and to be fair, I was done for the day anyway, so I didn't so much mind the laughter. I just remember laying there ass naked with tears streaming down my eyes and a bright red face because of embarrassment. It goes without saying that we did not continue, and eventually they did leave that night, but I suffered the repercussions of my actions for days to come. For the next 4 days, no matter how hard I tried, I could not shoot my goopy goo, and there was a bright red hand mark on my right testicle. Oh, and obviously I was walking around a bit tender. Now, thankfully on the 5th day, as if the Lord himself domed it upon me, my lower area began resuming normal production, and a huge sigh of relief came out of me, along with other things. But yeah, for 4 days, I legitimately thought I was broken. We don't do clickbait on this channel, boyos, I tell you the truth. But since you stayed around and been such a good boy, and also I want my watch time to go up, I'll give you a quick free bonus TLDR one. About the time that I also accidentally pepper sprayed my partner's area. Set the stage again, exact same setup as before. Ridiculously sexy boy, summertime, South Africa. Sweaty. Except this time he found his dad's pepper spray, which was issued to him by the police. My dad used to be a copper, so he used to bring all of his goodies home from time to time, and for some reason his station had excess amounts of pepper spray cans, so he gave my sister one. Now I was playing around with it before my partner came over, because I'm stupid, not realizing that this pepper spray can had a leak, and this leak was so subtle you wouldn't notice it unless somehow it got on your hands. Do you know what else I do with hands? You take A, pepper spray covered hand, and you take B, a human orifice, and you put them together, someone's gonna have a bad time. Not me though, as it was my job while they were screaming in agony to run to the kitchen to fetch milk and have them lay ass akimbo so I could pour it down. It's not funny. I didn't really get to speak to them much after that for a while. Anyways, that's all from me, guys. Legally, you have to subscribe. I am very ill. And please, be careful with your hands. They're very dangerous on an idiot. Love you all. Bye-bye.